Let's work some fast feet on the spot for the next 30 seconds. Your turn. Starting from an elbow plank, we're going to start to work some hips rotations. So your hips are going side to side. We're going to try and get it as close to the floor as we can without tipping over. You want to make sure that you're not dipping your hips and that you're protecting your back throughout. Your turn. Jumping jacks for this one. So nice and light on your toes and protect your knees. Your turn. Some stiff leg kickbacks from an elbow plank position. Now, I want you guys to watch out for this one because it's very easy to dip your hips on this one. So try and keep it nice and steady and make sure you're not dipping or arching your back. You've got to make sure your knee stays nice and straight throughout the kick. Your turn. Reverse plank. Now the trick for this one is make sure you've got nice straight knees, and you want to try and elevate your hips as much as you can. Look up at the ceiling to assist you, and just make sure that your fingers are pointing out. This is going to be the most comfortable position. You're going to get a pretty good stretch of the biceps for this one as well. Your turn. Front and back hops on the spot for the next 30 seconds. Your turn to try it. Working a low star for this one. So it's basically like a traditional side star, except we're going off our elbows rather than off our hand. So you can see all of my weight is on one arm and one foot, and we're just opening up those legs using those abductors as far as the other leg is concerned, and just pointing our arm straight up into the air. You're going to have to hold this for 45 seconds. Your turn. Everest Plank. Now this is like doing a really long mountain climber and then just holding that pose. So you should be getting a really good stretch in the hips and also in the glutes as well. And just try and maintain your position. We'll hit one side and then we're going to go the other side as well. Your turn. basic forearm plank for this exercise. So you can see I've got my weight on my elbows with 2 straight parallel arms. Now you've got to make sure that you don't dip or arch your back and keep it protected the whole time. Your turn to try this one. Getting into some rotating chops for the next 45 seconds. Your turn to have a go. Let's all run on the spot with high knees for the next 30 seconds. Your turn. Starting from an elbow plank, we're going to go into an obliques rotation. So what you want to do with this one is point your hand up into the air. You've got to make sure your arm's vertical when you do it, and this basically requires a 90-degree torso rotation. Your turn to try this one. Superman plank for this one. Now this one is a beauty. It's going to be pretty hard to stabilize, particularly on one side. Your weaker side is going to be harder to stabilize than your stronger side, but I want you guys to give this one a go. You've got to make sure you're using your opposite leg to your hand and just trying to stay nice and stable with a nice straight back. Your turn. Working some King Kong slams for the next 45 seconds. Your turn to try this one. Prone jacks. So you can see these are like jumping jacks, but in a prone position, like you're about to start a push-up. Nice and light on your toes. Your turn. Okay, just exchanging downward dogs and planks for this one. So you want to make sure you hit your plank, then we're going to push all the way back up to a down dog, get that nice stretch of the hamstrings, and work your way back into a plank again. Your turn. Mermaid Plank. So this is a fairly easy variation. What we're going to do is drop down to our knees, lift our feet together, and then pick it back up into a plank. Nice easy one to start with. If you're a beginner or if you're not too comfortable with planking, this is a good one to get the job done. Your turn. Working some gator knee strikes from an elbow plank position. Very important not to dip your hips on this one, and make sure you don't lift up with your bum too much either, because you don't want to lose engagement of your core when you do it. When you throw the knees, they should come outside of your elbows. Your turn to try it. Working some mini sprint steps using your favorite leg for the next 30 seconds. Your turn. Gate swings for this exercise. So you can see you're jumping into a squat, using your hands on your thighs for a little bit of support, and then jumping back with your feet together. Your turn. Single arm plank for this one. So very important to have a nice triangle base. Make sure your weight is spread evenly between your arm and your two legs. And you can see that I'm going into a traditional elbow plank for this one, and just keeping the shoulders nice and square. Make sure there's no dipping or arching of the back. Your turn. Alright, working some high pace squats. You can see Coach Levi is using his arms for momentum. Let's go. Extended plank. This is probably the hardest variation of a plank. It's one of my favorites. You've got to make sure you don't dip your back for this one because you can put some pressure on your lower back, so watch out for it. You want to try and extend out as far as you can, and then when it gets nice and difficult, you want to just try and hold it there. We're going to hold for 30 seconds. Your turn.
Well done for finishing your workout, guys. Please take a few minutes to stretch and cool your body down now.